What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to everybody who subscribe, people that watch, the creepers. Hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to do a video, not just for my channel, but for my state. I've lived in Minnesota my entire life, and as much as I complain about it, I don't ever leave. And, in recent events, there's been another murder of an innocent black man, and, the cities is completely trashed at this point. People are rioting and starting fires and looting stuff, but at the same time, what the news isn't showing you the rest of it, and that's people are angry. People are fed up, and I think that people are hurting. This video went viral on the internet, and the fact that this police officer kept his neck on this man's neck, completely blocking his airway the entire video, even when the man was gone. By the time the ambulance showed up, he was dead, and he still had his neck, his foot, his knee in the man's neck. Now you tell me where that's right, where that's acceptable, where that is going to be considered justified in any part of this world. The other officers stood by and didn't do anything. He was dead before they even called an ambulance. Before the ambulance showed up, he was gone, and all I can see and like every time I close my eyes is the same video. He still refused to take his knee out of his neck. There was more than one officer who checked his pulse and knowing that he was gone. It wasn't very long ago that Minnesota lost another man by the name of Philando. And I don't think Minnesota did anything besides give a not guilty verdict to a murder that was in broad daylight, on camera. They've paid the family millions, but that doesn't replace a life. People all over Facebook are angry that people are stealing stuff out of stores and starting fires, but at the end of the day, people are fed up. And who can sit back and say that it's not justified because they're angry, they're hurt, they're hurting? This is a nation of people that have been oppressed and demonized and demasculinized and put in prison for dumbass charges. Like, there has never been any justice for any black person or any type of minority in this country, and it's got to stop. I hate the fact that every time this happens that it has to be a white police officer against a black man. Why does it always have to come down to some type of race war when at the end of the day it should never be about that? This is what's right and wrong. I understand the anger. I don't feel it. I don't know what it's like to be treated the way that other people have been treated, but that doesn't mean that I don't have any type of empathy, that I don't have a heart, that I'm not a mother of mixed children, and my firstborn is a boy, is a son. So I have to sit here and explain to my 10-year-old what the fuck is going on. That if he were to ever get pulled over by the police, that he has to just do whatever they say, take whatever hit they do, and hope and pray to God that he's not killed. That shouldn't even be a conversation that we have to have with our kids or anybody else. I'm really disappointed in this state. When is it going to be enough? When is all these countless videos of these police officers using excessive force? How many times they've lifted their hands to people that are in handcuffs? How many times they shoot to kill people that are completely defenseless, that are not fighting back, that are completely complying with whatever they say, because these motherfuckers are on a power trip and they want to prove something to somebody. Constantly saying they fear for their life. Okay, but what about the life of everybody else? What about the life of people that have been here too? These are human beings. It doesn't matter the race. These are people. These are living and breathing human beings that are being killed for what? To prove a point? To prove that you're a big macho man that can stick your fucking knee in the neck of somebody who's defenseless and not fighting back until they can't breathe anymore? Did you get your point across? Do you feel better, you ugly motherfucker? Put these bitch ass cops in the prison with somebody their size. Talk that shit that you were talking when somebody's handcuffed without any type of defense. Talk that shit in real life and see what happens to y'all. But you hide behind a badge to protect and serve. Who are we protecting and serving? Your own ego? And it's just like, all this backlash. It's like, so if you're a police officer and you're offended by this, then how can you stand by and let this shit happen? Because if you want to say that you're going to uphold the law and protect and serve, then you should have got your fucking fellow officer off that man's neck long before he took his last breath, laying on the ground, fucking defenseless. You shouldn't be standing with these motherfuckers. You're mad at all the protesting and you're still standing in front of the precinct. You're still fucking repping, your badge. But at the end of the day, you know that this shit is wrong. So why aren't you guys doing anything about it? Why isn't there any other officers on the Minneapolis Police Department standing up and telling them that where were y'all when there was how many officers standing around? To the sheriff that came up and checked the man's pulse and knew that he was dead, why didn't you get that man off his neck? Why don't y'all have any remorse for taking people's lives and throwing your badge around with excessive force? Where the fuck is humanity? This shit is wrong. And I can't help but think if the tables were turned, this is a nation of people who have been quiet. This is a nation of people who have complied and still getting killed. Over and over, and now it's on fucking video for the world to see.
Mom, I gotta go poop.
It's only a matter of time before people fight back.
I gotta go poop. Mom.
Okay, we'll go. I don't want to see anybody lose their life, but at the same time, I don't really want to see any more videos of these fucking police officers and these officials in power doing the same shit that they've done. Okay, tell them, come on, let's go. Every part of the justice system is corrupt. If you look back in history, and if we've literally had 5 presidents who have been who they said they were and stood up for something good, either they were assassinated or silenced, because it all comes down to money and fucking power. 5 presidents in the history of the United States that have been who they said they were and did what the fuck they said they were going to do. So how many years, how many centuries of this shit has just been laid to rest? People are getting fed up and it's time for some changes. And I'm really sorry to the city of Minneapolis to see shit up in flames, to see things being done the way that they're being done. But at the end of the day, let's not make it about that they're stealing shit and they're setting shit on fire. Let's make it about what really happened here. Why this shit popped off, why it started. It's not like people just started this for nothing. This was started because someone lost their life again. And if history repeats itself and this motherfucker gets a not guilty verdict, it's not going to get any better. You don't pay a family $2 million after they lose somebody like they did for Philando. There should never be a not guilty anything. You are clearly guilty. For the world to fucking see, you're guilty. You took his life. So if it's an eye for an eye, then these people wouldn't be that tough in real life without a badge and a gun and some handcuffs. That's a bitch, if you ask me. That's a bitch-ass move on their part. And I've never been more disappointed. I think that I've just been in complete naivety But as the years go by and then little low-key shit starts happening to me and my family, you can't help but wonder who in authority actually is doing the right thing. If a badge isn't involved, if money's not involved, if a weapon's not involved, if power's not involved, who would all these people be in real life?
Can I go back to the park?
I'm not black, but I stand with the black community. And I will forever stand with the black community, regardless of what anybody else has to say about me on Facebook. Trying to prove a point, trying to argue is just pointless. But I know where my loyalties lie, and I know where my family loyalties lie. And that's all that matters to me. I hope that there is justice served. I hope that these officers learn a fucking lesson when it comes to this shit. There shouldn't be anybody taking lives. There shouldn't be anybody treating anybody any different for the color of their skin. To prove a point, to do whatever the fuck has been done for so long. It's just to the point where it's sickening. United we fall, or divided we... What? United we stand, divided we fall. It's always going to be that way. It doesn't matter what color you are. I can understand the anger, but hate never really solved anything. There's got to be some changes made, and it's time for people to start taking responsibility for their actions and be held accountable for their actions. It's not about color, it's about what's right and wrong. And you know this shit is wrong, Minnesota. These people are guilty. And I'm sorry that there's so much hate in this world. It doesn't come from everybody, but it just seems like there's always a target and there's always anger, spewed in whatever direction. But I think that it needs to be in the place where it belongs, and that should be whoever these people are that continue to act this way against whoever. It's wrong. There's got to be some type of change. There has to be some type of solution instead of the same things on the news like it's normal. Another life taken, another person being tortured or beat up in handcuffs. This isn't right. This is wrong. And not only that, but this is how many murders are on these cops' hands? How many complaints of use of excessive force is it going to take for these motherfuckers to not be able to be a police officer anymore? Take that badge off and throw them in a cell with somebody and see how they act then, how tough they are without that badge, without those handcuffs, without that weapon. Because this is real life, and you reap what you sow. This isn't about God and Satan. This is about people reaping what the fuck they sow. And if you're an evil ass person, that's exactly what the fuck you're gonna get back. I don't know what else to say about it, but I hope that things change and that these motherfuckers are convicted for what the fuck they did.